hated it. I'm being honest, I hated it. I
Yeah.
was like so over it. Cause also, as you said, I have this wall, right? And with me, it's like for me to come to you and tell you that, okay, this and this and this, I don't feel okay with it or it hurts me. It takes time. I need to sit down. I need to think, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Should I bring it up? Should I not? And then by the time I speak up is when I'm extremely mad and I start resenting you. So now when I speak up, it looks like I'm rebellious. I'm just a kid who doesn't want to listen and all that. So I hated it because okay, Mom, if you see this, I apologize.
Are we ready? Let's get it. Look nice. I like the outfits.
Thank you.
I really like
That's
the
so
outfits.
nice.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Finally. Sure. I don't know how many times we talked about doing this episode.
Yeah, finally.
Finally. Finally. So I'm excited.
I'm nervous. I
I
won't
can
lie.
tell. I can tell, but I think over time, you'll feel a bit more
Yeah,
relaxed.
hopefully. Hopefully.
Okay. So, I want us to talk about different things, but this is where I want to start.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to converse the idea of um, environment, right, and how it
Okay.
shapes your identity. Um, Especially this concept around um, how people who are raised in the same family more or less have the same type of upbringings, um, and the reality that the same environment could potentially be experienced differently by different people, but also how the same environment in itself can change and become dynamic over time. And I think you're the best person to have that conversation with because you are my little sister.
Yes.
We were raised by the same parents in the
Okay.
same household. I mean,
Yes.
there's other
Yeah.
elements to your
Yeah.
upbringing that we can talk about, but I think it's a conversation that is worth having with you because
Mm-hmm.
we can arguably say we were raised within the within the same environment, but then how has it shaped your identity versus my identity, and what is the role of environment when it comes to identity, and how far does it go, if that makes sense?
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to take us through your version of your upbringing?
Okay, I think I can.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't cry, guys. Yeah. Okay, so well, I didn't live with you guys until I was like 3 years old because I was
Yeah.
living with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And even though I was living with them,
Wait, let's just go back a bit, right?
okay,
So you were born, and then a few
few months
months
later, I was
later,
shipped to my grandmother. Yes, I was
um,
shipped.
extreme. Okay, so mom had to go back to work,
Yeah, she had to.
and we couldn't afford a nanny. Or
Yeah,
there was that aspect of it, and so um, grandma said she could raise you
yeah.
for a bit until you were old enough to
Come back
come
home.
back home, and
Yes,
then that's what happened. Okay.
yes. That's what happened. So I was living with them from, I think I was 6 months, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
around that time.
until I was around 3 years old. And I would lie, living with them, there were like advantages and disadvantages, obviously, but I won't go into that.
Yeah.
And then I went back home.
When you were about
Yeah, I was like 3.
3, yeah.
Yes, I went back home. I mean, I was still a kid,
Yeah.
but yeah. It was nice until, yeah.
Wait, how was that transition for you? Can you recall that far?
Yo, it wasn't nice. I won't lie. It wasn't nice at all because one, okay, we were staying in Pumalanga, so meaning we spoke Zulu most
Yeah.
of the time. So what I knew was Zulu and a bit of English, obviously. And then I go back home. The first thing dad says is, so soon as you get in the car, you must drop your Zulu. You must not start speaking Sepedi. I'm like, okay, how did we get here? I'm sorry. What's happening? Can I like go back? Like, take me back. Cause see, I feel like where we going? And then I was like, okay. Honestly, I thought it was a joke at first until I saw Uguti. No, this is actually serious. It's
Mm.
either I learned Sepedi or I don't know. And then, yeah, it was hard, but I was young, so I was able to catch on quickly to
Oh.
the language and everything that was said in the household. I think I was also inquisitive, so I think I would like ask here and there what certain words meant, and they would explain. And then they took me to like a crèche where they were speaking Sepedi and English. And then they also was able to adapt and, learn quicker until they took me to a primary school which had English and Afrikaans. I was like, no. And then my dad was like, change, change schools now. And then they took me
Wait,
to a
which
primary,
primary school was that?
Masiala Progressive.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they took me to Snell Poshok. And
Yeah.
then that's where I was like, okay, so I need to adapt English, Sepedi. I need to make sure I'm fluent in Sepedi. Then yeah, then by the time I went to the primary, I was like 6. Yeah, I was in grade 1 when I went to Snell Poshok. I was like 6.
Hmm.
And then time went by. I think when I was in grade 4, that's when like things changed also. And
Hmm.
then when things changed, a lot happened in the house and stuff. And then grade 5, that's where like things actually took a sharp curve. So in a way, I stopped being in a household where it was like 2 parents. Now it was like 1 parent, but the other parent was there. And now it's like you are, ooh, I better cry. Anyways, you are now staying with a mom who is hurt and going through things, and then your dad is also trying to figure out his own things. So it was like, in a way, it was a toxic environment. Let me just put it like that. Because in grade 5, yes, dad still stayed with us, but and oh, you and Sis Matlid were in matric. So one, you stay with parents who they don't speak to each other unless they announce that someone is getting married or there's a funeral. Why are we not speaking, guys? Two, mom had like a newborn baby. So now it's like, I'm a kid, there's a kid. Y'all guys are not speaking. Like, what's happening in this house? So yeah. And then that's when like also dad moved out. And then things just went sideways at that point. And then I'm not saying NB. I'm not saying my mom is a bad person or anything. No, she has her own things. But it was hard staying with her because, how do I put it? Our mom is not like someone who's vocal about how she feels about things. So, in a way, the one time you do something to make her mad, she'll take everything out on you. Because also, before dad moved out in grade 5, I did something. To this day, when I think about it, all I can do is laugh. So, I could see what was happening in the house, obviously. One thing about me, I could see everything. So, I went to school. First of all, we were chosen that day. I went to school. And then instead of coming back home, I went to a friend's house. And then we stayed there. And she would like tell me that, okay, it's around this time. Don't you want to go home? Like, no, I don't think I want to go home. And at that point, you kind of like explain to someone that like what's happening because I was afraid of being judged. Also, it's primary and anything can be used against you to get new friends. So I was like, no. Until it got to 5, and I was like, oh yeah, now I can go home. Now when I go home, I get home, my sisters are like, yeah, you see today.
Is this the Matabo incident?
No, no, it's how I look.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then my sisters are like, no, you are in trouble. Mom said we must find a belt. I'm like, okay. They're like, bruh, they went to look for you the whole entire zone 2. They even went to zone 3. They went to the police station. They thought you missing. Someone kidnapped you. They wanted to open a missing person's case. I'm like, my parents are full of drama. I go to my room. I'm chilling. How I hear our mom coming back. That day, I just knew that it's about to go down. Because I could hear that, like, she was mad. And then, like, she was like, where is she? Where is she? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then, yeah, she did, like, beat me up. I went like,
Did she?
yes, she did. She used, like, a broom. And then it broke into 2. Like, that's how hectic it was. That's how mad she was.
I don't recall
And
that.
then she was like, actually, no, a broom is not enough. Let me use a shoe. After that, she left me. And then obviously she was mad. And it was around that time like a lot was happening. And then the only thing that made her calm down was I showed her my report and I had passed. And she was like, yeah, you did good, whatever. And then, yeah. And then, and then I went to grade 6. Dad moved out. But it wasn't like nice. Also, our little sister was not staying with us because same thing, they shipped her to our grandmother because my mom
She had to
needed
go
to
back to
go.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else happened at that time? A lot of things happened, but it moved from a loving home to a mom who was like trying to navigate what was happening. And then a dad who'd like come see you, then leave. And honestly, I became my dad's like go like low-key enemies in a way because I have a vile mouth. 1, 2, I mean I don't really if something is not something I like, I'm gonna say it obviously.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, at that time we had like a lot of fights. So I would fight with my mom and I would fight with dad. So that's like Loki had to what's this balance between the two?
Yeah.
But because I wasn't someone who would like show how I felt. So with my mom, till today, she thinks I'm someone who's like strong. So anything that happens, I'm like, never mind. It's fine. It's okay. It'll pass. I don't think she realized that all those things that happened actually did hurt me because I would just be like, I don't know what to say. It's cool. And then I'd go cry alone. And then I'd come back. And then it would look like I'm okay. And then I went to grade 7. When I was in grade 7, 1, I cut my hair. 2, this other maths teacher started complaining. She was like, she thinks something is not okay with me. And I'm like easily distracted. What's happening? And then this one time I'm like, hey, let me just take a shot. Let me tell her what's happening. How? I would like, till today, I regret doing that. But also, I'm glad I did that. I
Okay.
regret it, but also I'm glad. So I speak to her. I'm like, no, oh, my parents separated. Now I'm surfing information. I can't say everything that's happening in the house. I'm like, no, my parents are separating. This, that. And she listened. And then she was like, you know what? most people have a lot of things happening that are bigger than you, bigger than what you going through. I'm like, how? And she's like, yeah, most people have a lot of problems that are bigger than what you're going through. I just think you must just mind that and focus on your school work and whatever. I'm like, how? I just said this is happening. You're saying I must mindset. And then she was on some like other kids that they don't have parents, whatever. And then that was the first time where I regretted telling someone how I felt. I was like, nah, this is
Okay,
not
wait,
it.
let's just take it back a bit and
Yeah.
bring in context, right?
Mm,
Um, so you went to a public school,
yes.
right? You transitioned from a private school to a public school. Myself progressive for the
Yeah.
private school. So the teachers there might have showed more interest in kids than public school teachers would.
Mm-hmm.
But also there is the element of the dynamics of the type of people who would go to public schools.
Yes.
There's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of
Mothers.
single mothers, single households, single parent households, and there's just other factors that come
Mm,
with that economic status and context. So I'm not saying it's right that your
it
teacher said
wasn't
that,
right,
but
but also, yeah.
contextually it's like from that person's perspective, there are kids who come to school hungry, they
Mm,
don't have food, they go back to and your parents separating
isn't
in
really
that
much
spectrum
of a big
of,
deal. So, yeah.
it's just delivery to the wrong person,
Mm,
if that makes sense. But it doesn't minimize what you were going through. But I
mm,
just thought context mattered in this scenario. I also wanted to go a bit back to how things looked before we got to the separation,
yeah.
right? So when we were growing up, it was when I was that age, around
Mm,
primary and stuff, we had a two-parent household,
mm,
but also not just a two-parents household, but two parents who deeply loved each other
yeah.
to a point where there was even a point where I think they ate off the same plate.
Plate. So, yeah.
And that is the context I'd say our older sister, Matlodi, and I
Mm,
grew up in. And that is like the dynamic and the environment that raised us. And then there was the later years where there were troubles
mm,
and then eventual separation, which is when you were young and you
yeah.
had just moved in with us. Um, how do you think our upbringing shaped us differently from how your experience was?
Hmm. That's an interesting question. Ooh. Okay. Okay. It's different in a way that one, you and our sister are way too close. Like, way too close. You can't go like 5 hours without calling each other. Every 2 seconds, you're on a call, which is different from me because I'm not really that close with y'all, but I am in a way. Two, um, what else? Oh, besides you guys being close, how you are able to share whatever that's happening in your lives, like freely. So I can't do that. Like, I mean, I don't speak about this enough, but like, I walk around eggshells with everyone. So I need to first read your mood if I can speak to you. I must first see if you're in like a happy mood or a sad mood. And then if you're not happy, it's me in my room. I'll literally go to my room.
Yeah.
And also, you guys are able to. I mean, I am an empath, but also you're able to sit with each other while you going through whatever that you're going through and speak. As I said, with me, I can't. Like, I'll tap you on the shoulder, like, yeah, you'll be fine. Bye bye.
Yeah. I know you're weird. Like,
I can't sit there and I can't, like,
yeah,
you can't cry in front of me. Why are you crying? So
yeah.
I can't, yeah. I don't know what else, but that's one thing that you guys have. But I guess you would have like learned that from mom and dad, like before everything happened.
I don't know if it's that. I think the closeness might be attributed to the age gap,
Mm.
right? Because we are about 2 years apart. Not even 2 years, like 1 year,
And a few
a few
months
months
apart.
apart. And you and I are 7 years apart. So
Mm.
there's that element, there's the age gap. And you and her are like
9 years
9 years
apart.
apart. So there's that gap, right? That's the one thing. But also I think is there's a difference between I think our emotional levels. I think she is um more emotionally she's more of an emotional person than
Mm.
the two of us. So she's able to speak freely about how she's doing, how she's feeling, everything that's going on in her life. And I'm I think halfway in
Mm.
that um I sit with my feelings too long and then I crash and then I become very emotional
Mm.
and then I can talk to her because she has that emotional element. And then you are the extreme end of it where like there's no emotion.
Yeah.
You when you're going through stuff, you isolate and then you I think you prefer to process your emotions alone and I genuinely don't know like what works for you. I
Mm.
know with her, she needs somebody to listen to
Mm.
her. She wants to talk about it. She'll talk through. She wants to talk it through, and that's what we do.
Mm.
Um, with me, it's more I need space first. I want to process my feelings, and then afterward, I'll talk through what I'm feeling. And then with you, it's kind of okay, I can see you are not in a good space. I'll try to
Mm.
reach out and there's the wall. And then I'll wait until you are
Goes down and
you
then
you
yeah.
feel better and then I'll come and I'll ask what happened, how are you
Mm.
feeling now? And it's more so that like it's a brief response.
Mm.
No, I'm better now. So there's that wall that you put up and it's not easy for people to um understand what you're
Mm.
going through except the surface level of okay, I can see there's
Yeah.
something going on here, I just don't know what. So I think it's that it's the fact that we both the three not both the three of us are different in how we process information and just life experiences, and it's just a matter of trying to navigate how each person
Mm.
responds to things and also how to be there for them. Like with me now, because we've lived together now for a
Mm.
while, um, I've sort of like tried to give you space and I'll just like bring you something I think you'll like
Mm.
something sweet because you
I've
like sweet
noticed.
things. And that is just my way of saying, I don't know what you're going through, but
Mm.
I'm here. And then I'll just leave you to it. I tried hugs, but you give church hugs, you give side hugs, and you give those hugs where you tap and you're like, okay, finish up now. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna leave you, but
Yeah.
so I think it's that we are different, but I do think it can be linked to, I guess, how we were raised. It
Yeah.
might be born from you grew up in an era in our family where a lot of people were just going through a lot of things
Mm.
and they were trying to navigate a very difficult situation.
Also, at that time, there was like no one I can speak to. So
Exactly.
anything that happened, I had to deal with it on my own.
Alone, yeah.
So also that was how also the whole came up. I
Yeah.
was like, hey, if I'm not there for myself, nobody will be. Because
Mm,
now I can see everyone is busy with their lives. So whatever that's happening, I'll need to find a way to deal with it on my own and get over it. So yeah.
yeah, I think so. I think also, I don't think it was like intentional
Mm,
that you ended up having to deal with things alone. I think it was a timing issue
yeah.
because when mom and dad separated,
You were
my
not
sister,
here.
I was not there.
Our
But
sister
also the
was there,
year in
but
which
yeah.
it was leading to that, we were both
And
in
metric.
matric. So our focus was on
Mm,
that. I barely saw anyone for that matter. I would come back home after school. I would
and
sleep
be in
at
your
6 p.m.
Mm,
I would wake up at 12 a.m. when everybody was sleeping,
mhm,
and then I'd be off to school by 7. So I barely saw anyone that
mm,
whole year. And then the next year I was gone. Um so there was that element of people had like different things that they were focusing on. So everybody had to fend for themselves
yeah, that's true.
emotionally, and it's just an unfortunate timing issue, but
Yeah.
yeah, nevertheless, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Hoira, it happens.
Oh my God.
That's
Like,
actually my go-to word. I would lie.
yeah,
Even sometimes, if I'm going to something, if I go to something, you see me sad, and then after an hour, you see me fine. Just know that I told myself that it happens.
yeah,
Like I can't just sit with these emotions forever.
yeah,
Life needs to like go on. So yeah.
yeah. That is true. Okay, so that was the whole element of, I guess, how environments shape people
Yeah.
differently, but also that the same, like an environment doesn't stay constant, it changes over
Yeah.
time, and that also will have an impact on how each person
Mm,
experiences it. But there's also the element of each person has their own individual experience of the same environment.
that's true.
Because I think even I growing up, I don't think I was very close to mom and dad. But then when I have conversations with you and our older sister, sometimes you guys feel like I was very close to them as opposed to how I saw things.
Yeah.
So there's that element of individual perspectives when it
Mm,
comes to an environment. I always argue that I always thought you and mom were close, and our older sister was quite close to dad.
mm.
And I was just that like middle child in the just
The mix, you would just
yeah, just
say.
trying to navigate where I belonged. But then it seems for you, it wasn't like that. You just always
Yeah.
felt alone. And I know from my conversations with our older sister, she always felt like there was favoritism towards me
Yeah.
because I was more academically inclined. And so I guess
Mm,
that level of perspective when it
mm,
comes to children being raised in the same environment is that there's also the element of perspective. Each
mm.
person will see things differently. Yeah.
Yes, that's
And we
true.
haven't even touched on like our little sister. I don't even know how she is navigating everything because she's still quite young, but it would be interesting to know
I
her
think we'll probably
perspective.
know when she's like in her peak teens.
Yeah.
For now, it's like everything's just flowing for her,
Yeah.
honestly.
She's,
But
she,
I mean, she's still she's not really a kid, but also it's like yeah, she's still growing. So
yeah.
mm,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like understanding
then
her experience
yeah,
of it all because I genuinely find it interesting to see your perspective of things, to see our older
mm,
sister's perspective of things, and to just understand the whole picture, if that makes
mm,
sense. Because it's quite easy to stick to your
mm,
own version of events and see it for truth. But having other people's
that's yeah.
perspectives just brings the picture into a more clearer form.
I don't think that's one thing our older sister used to understand. Because there's I'm not laughing.
Yeah.
You see how you and her grew up, right?
Yeah.
You were like twins.
Really?
But because like you guys are not that far
Yeah, we're
apart.
not
So
far
in
apart.
a
Yeah.
way it looked like, yeah. But when I started growing up and I was like, okay, now you need to learn how to cook, wash the dishes, whatever. Our sister was like, I must do everything alone. Why? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I can't. She's like, And then for her, she'd be like, no, we used to do this. Keyword, we, you, and who. The other sister used to do this. I can't do this alone. Like,
Yeah.
for her, it was like, you must do all these things. And then when I say, no, you had someone to help you, she'd be like, no, you can't say that. Go wash the dishes, go cook, go and sweep outside, go do the laundry. And I'm like, yo, I don't think you understand that all these things, I can't do them alone. But
Mm.
yeah, but I think now she's like fine.
I
And
mean,
then
you
she
guys
does it.
don't live together anymore, so there's that element.
Yeah.
But also, I think you're older now, she's
Mm,
older, and there's the level of maturity that
mm,
comes with it, and also respect for each
yeah.
other. Because when you're younger, it's competitive, and it's that
Mm,
blame pushing thing, and nobody wants to do chores. So
yeah.
you take advantage of seniority,
Mm,
and you give the chores to the younger
yeah.
person. So
I don't
there's
like
that.
that. If you're doing that, please stop it right now.
She's
Yes.
gonna hate this
No, like if you are an older sister out there and you just push chores to the younger one, stop it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause like for some people, it it's either they just see it as, oh, I'm just a kid, so I'll do this, or someone ends up resenting you because now they start feeling like because you old thing, you can just push everything towards them. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you do that, stop it.
That's good advice. That's good advice. Okay. Okay, so I wasn't home for a good chunk for about, I don't know what, 8 years when you
You are gone, hey?
yeah, I wasn't home for a huge chunk, so I
Mm,
can't really account to anything that
yeah.
happened then. But I think during that time you and I randomly spoke,
Yes.
and we tried to keep in touch.
Yeah.
And then I think we really got in touch around when you were in matric,
Grade 11
grade
matric, yeah.
11 matric. That's when we started finding our footing,
Yeah.
and also the fact that I left a grade 5. Well, how old were you when
No,
I left?
actually, the reason why I started becoming too close was there's a time where you came and you were at home. I think it was still around that COVID period,
Oh,
quarantine.
yeah.
So you were at home for like months.
Oh my goodness.
And then, yeah. And then you had like a schedule. Every day at this time, we sit at the table, you do this, I do this, you go through this, I go through that. And then you would like make me do quizzes to figure out what I'm gonna choose when I get to grade 10 and stuff. So in a way, like we got close. It was irritating. Like I just wanted to just relax. But now there's like a whole timetable. At 9:30 we're doing this. Then you can take an hour long break. And then yeah. And then after that, like we started really getting close and I was like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
And how were you finding that transition? Because there was a time where I think everybody was still navigating the separation,
Yeah.
and then there was then the element of now this is normal. We just stay with mom, and dad visits. And how were you finding that transition and navigating your relationship with different people?
I hated it. I'm being honest, I hated it. I
Yeah.
was like so over it. Cause also, as you said, I have this wall, right? And with me, it's like for me to come to you and tell you that okay, this and this and this, I don't feel okay with it, or it hurts me. It takes time. I need to sit down. I need to think, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Should I bring it up? Should I not? And then by the time I speak up is when I'm extremely mad and I start resenting you. So now when I speak up, it looks like I'm rebellious. I'm just a kid who doesn't want to listen and all that. So I hated it because okay, mom, if you see this, I apologize. So there was a time where I would tell dad, right? Because one thing about me, if I sit with something for long, I'll end up saying it. Like, I don't like this. So I would be like to him, okay, so whatever that's happening between you and mom, for me, it's not good because now it looks like I'm getting the bad share of it. Because if mom is mad, obviously, I'm there. She'll like probably like take out her anger on me and all. Because I was like literally the only kid who was at home. So I would tell him, and then my dad would like, yeah, 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 we'll fix it. And then days go by, weeks go by. I'm like, okay, what are we fixing actually? And then I'll go say it again. He'll like, no, no, we'll fix it. Like how this man doesn't take me serious. So now when something else happens between us, it then creates a huge fight because then I'll go back and I'm like, yeah, also I said this and you said you'll fix it. When did you fix it? And then now it's a huge fight. So it was like, and then with our older sister, I she knows this. We had like a fight where she slapped me because yeah, she did because I I said something and I was like I was so mad. Like I was actually irritated and then I said something and then yeah, she slapped me. So also it was hard because now she had her own life, friends and stuff and I mean she'd be like at home but also she was busy. It felt like she just came at home to sleep. Next morning, I'm out of here, you know. So it was like hard having a relationship with her and then having to speak to her about things. Because, like, when you speak, it looks like you're lying because the person was not there. They can't see what's happening. So for them, it's like, you're lying. So it was like hard. And then with mom, she's mom was like, hey, it's either you get on the program or you don't. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, hey,
I think you and mom are quite similar in that you have walls when it comes to your emotions.
me, mom, and our grandmother, yes.
Yeah,
And
you
the way I don't want to be like these two people, yo. And now, yeah, look where we are.
you guys are quite similar in that you have
Mm,
walls and you guard your emotions and there's a limitation to
mm,
how far people can reach
mm.
that element. So I think it's quite interesting to um witness the dynamics of your relationship given the similarity.
Hey, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually tough, but yeah.
Fatal. Okay. Um, so then you were in matric, right?
Mm,
And then you passed your matric, but then you didn't want to go to university. You decided you wanted to upgrade your
yeah,
math
and take a
marks.
gap year. Well, the gap year was already planned. I just didn't speak about it. It was planned all along.
Okay,
I
wait,
just
I
knew
didn't
that
know
I'll
that
be at home.
this is new information.
No, it's
Okay.
not really new because we did speak about this. I mean, I didn't speak about this at home about
Yeah.
like matric, but like matric was like a really tough year for me.
Mm.
Also because during that year, I was like going through it, and like there were things that would happen that would like trigger me a lot. So I was like, I wasn't really focused. I just wanted to just pass and leave that school. So there was a time where we had a conversation, right? And then you're like, no, if you don't want to go to university, you can take a gap year, do this, do that, right? Dad on the other side was like, you're not going to do that. And then I already knew that I'm going to take a gap year, honestly, just to figure things out. And then, yeah. And then when that thing also of having to upgrade happened, I was like, oh, yeah, good shot. So now I can just take the gap year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually remember that now. I think I always tried to be like liberal when it came to you and like intervene between you and
You
Dad.
have a lot of time. Yo, that isn't the first time you did that.
It's not, because I remember when even when you were selecting your subjects in high school, you were specifically not going to do science. And I
Yeah.
remember he was
She
furious.
was like pissed. Her like, who's gonna help you with that commerce of yours? Because all of us here did science. No
Yeah.
one knows anything about accounting and economics. And I was just like, you know what? It's okay. I'll figure it out. Like, yeah,
That was
stay with your science.
It was so interesting because he was so persistent. I remember asking myself,
Why?
why are you this
He was
persistent?
like,
And he kept emphasizing how he's gonna help. And in my head, I kept thinking, you've never helped us with homework.
he's never at all.
You've never helped us with homework, and this is the hill you want to die on. That was and yeah, that was such an interesting time.
It
And
actually was.
eventually, I mean, I don't think he ever got to a point where he accepted it, but
He never did at all. Because every now and then it did come up in grade 11. It
yeah,
was like, you should have just chose science. And I was like, okay, I don't really have anything to say.
yeah.
Same thing, grade 12. And also there was a time where he would be the one who was fetching my reports. So any little thing that would like take him off, I'm like, you should have just chose science. And I was like, yo, Tyler, I apologize, but hey. And also, he was irritated at the fact that I was the first person to take sides in the family. So he was like,
Commerce.
yeah, comments, and he was like, nah. Like, why are you trying to be different from everyone else? And I was like, yo, I really can't do that. I'm sorry, no.
Was that important to you, that difference? Did you, is it because you wanted to be different from everyone, because you felt you were isolated from everyone, or you really just wanted to do commerce?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I always tried to not be any of y'all. Like, even with my mom, who'd be like, why you started to dress like your sister? I would change my wardrobe. I would change it. If she sees me as if I'm dressing like you, next time we go shopping, I'm buying different things. I don't want to be seen like you. No.
Why? What's so bad
Nah.
about that?
No.
Yeah.
No. I really, really didn't want that. I was like, nah.
You wanted to be
I
your own
needed to be my
individual.
own person. So.
Yeah.
But also, I did give them like a fair share of headaches, honestly, because yeah, there's a lot that happened, and I was like, well, welcome to my world, guys. Yes, but yeah,
Okay, so just to go back, so
the gap year.
you had a planned gap year when
Yes,
you eventually did do your gap year. How was that for you? Because you moved back to Pumalang.
Coco, if you see this or you hear this from someone, I'm sorry. Kakolisa bad, like, oh, it was horrible. Whatever. Oh, I would lie. Here's the reason why I left home. I had a fight with our dad.
Yeah.
The next day, packed my bags. I put the suitcase by the door. And then weekend, I wake up, he's not there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm dipping. Bye, guys. Yes, because we had like a fight because I was upgrading obviously, and I was like, I'm not gonna be here at home. I need to go where it's quiet. I told our dad. He was like, no, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
What's the difference between you sitting here and studying here than you going there? And like he had like a lot to say. And now we're in the kitchen having a back and forth. In my head, I was like, I feel like I've had like a fair share of fights with this man, and I do know that he knows that I'm gonna leave whether he likes it or not. So it's fine, he can speak. And we ended up giving up. And the thing with him is he would fight with me. And then after that, it's like we never really had a fight. So I was like, how? We are back to being happy. Okay. Mom comes back. I'm like to her, I've decided I'm gonna leave. And then yeah, and then during the weekend it was like on a Saturday. I wake up in the morning, I bath. Then when I go, dad is not there. He had went to those meetings they always go to. And then I just told mom, I was like, I go tell him that I left, honestly. Also, he had moved back home. So in a
What
way
did
I
you
was like,
think about that?
I was like, you speak to him when he comes back.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm not gonna stay here.
Yeah.
And then I left. And we didn't even speak. He didn't say anything. And how bad it was, I would be like, okay, I need airtime, he'd send it. I need data, he'd send it. I need money, he'd send money. But we wouldn't talk. We wouldn't talk. It was just like a whole situation of, okay, what do you need? Cool, I get it for you. Then that was it. But staying with our grandmother, horrible. First month was fine. Going forth, went down the hill. But there was like other people I met which were like making things better. And I got to learn a lot. Because now, where I was attending, I was like a high school. So now those kids, no, they're not kids actually, we're the same age, man. It was like you meet people who think differently. Also, seeing where the school is. So yeah, and then while I was there, made a friend who till today she's still on my life, yes. And then yeah, they made things like cool. And then our aunt, she works there. So when I was done with my classes or before my classes, I'd go and speak to her and sit with her. So it was like fine. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was like, yeah, disadvantages and advantages of staying there. But yeah,
Did you ever regret taking a gap year?
the only time I regret it is now where I'm like, ugh, I would be graduating next year. Why did I take it? But also at the same time, I'm like, nah. With everything that happened from like Jan till December of my gap year, if all those things happened while I was in uni, I would have dropped out. I would have been like, okay, bye, university, see you next year. I would have dropped out. But yeah.
So it had more benefits
Yeah.
than
It
it
did.
did the odds, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Okay. So then you you finished, you got the marks that you wanted, and then
Mm.
you applied to go study in Cape Town, and then you moved to Cape Town. How was that transition for you?
Should I be honest or lie? No, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't nice at first. Because when I moved here, it was like after we lost our dad. So it was like, okay. Me coming here, I was like, okay, maybe I'll get a peace of mind. But now I had like more time and more freedom this side. So unlike at home, after like he passed on, I couldn't really grieve because like mom was there, things needed to be done. I was like a robot. Literally, I was a robot. I was like, okay.
Mm.
So when I came here, it was like the flood was like, okay, girl, can we let free now? You know how a peacock lets go of the feathers, and then yeah, that's how my emotions went. And I got here and I stayed with y'all for like a week. Then I went to Greece. And then when I went there, first month, I would wake up crying and sleep crying.
Sure.
Literally, I was like, "Hey, what's happening here?" Then I had to like go through a roller coaster of emotions. But yeah, also new people, new city. I really can't adjust to new people easily. So yeah, even my classmates till today, they still speak about how I only started being very open in our term three. Term one, term two, I was mute. I was like, who are y'all? I'm not gonna speak to y'all.
Mm.
I'll only speak if we have to discuss our project. Anything else, it's a no. And then now things are like different from there. Now I can like make jokes in class and then they laugh. I'm like, ha ha ha, I see I'm funny. Unlike last year. So
Mm.
last year I was like, mm. But also coming here was like, it was nice at the same time because then I got to meet people who have a different way of approaching things and all that. So I got to learn. And then there's also like one of our classmates. Having conversations with him is nice because then you also get to learn. And I was like, okay, this is life. Also, I've always had this thing of like, this is life. You can't just sit with your emotions forever. So yeah. And then now the huge mistake I made was me making sure that I use schoolwork to get away from a lot of things. So any amount of work they gave us, I'd be like, cool. As long as I don't have to deal with my emotions, I'm gonna bury myself in this work. But yeah, epic fail, honestly.
You know, I was just thinking now that we actually skipped over it. Is that when you were in your gap year, it
Mm,
was the year that we lost our dad towards
mm.
the end of it.
We actually nearly lost both our parents at first, but okay.
Let's stick to the one.
That was hectic.
Let's stick to the one. So okay,
That was
just
actually
to give
hectic.
context, yes, both our parents got sick, very sick,
Yeah, and
and they were
it was
both admitted.
scary, but yeah. Mm.
They were both admitted at the hospital. Um, I think mom stayed for a couple of weeks, and then she got
She stayed for
discharged.
like a week,
Mm.
and then dad stayed for like 2 weeks because also prior to that he was already like sick.
Sick,
So
yeah.
yeah.
And then dad eventually got discharged,
Mm.
and then a few months down the line
Yeah.
he got terribly sick and he was in hospital for about 2 months.
Kudos to mom because wow, he didn't want to go there. He was like, "Why should I go there? I don't want to go there. The bill is expensive. Hospitals this." And then mom was like, "You're not gonna die in this house, so
Yeah.
please go." And then he ended up going. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, she's quite brave. She's been through a lot, human.
she is.
And then she um he was sick and then eventually he passed on in October.
Mm.
And then I think we were home for much of that period, and then eventually that's when you came to Cape Town.
Yeah,
So then most of your grief you would have done this side.
yeah.
Do you think that impacted your adjustment to a new environment? The having to grieve part while also trying to navigate a new environment.
Yes, it did. It did. Also, besides everything that happened with the funeral and losing him, like things that happened before it did. Because when I got here, I was like, I had already told myself, no friends. I don't want friends. I don't want to get too close to anyone. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna lose those people. No, we are not gonna be friends. Like, we can laugh, smile, chit chat, cool, and stay. And I epic fail, honestly, because I ended up having friends. I ended up
It's a
having
really
friends.
great friends. You're really great friends.
Yeah. See, guys, you're like great. I always talk about you, but yeah. Um, I ended up having friends, but I'm actually glad that I ended up having friends because then it made the grieving more,
Palatable.
yeah.
Mm.
And then also, because now we got close and then they got to understand why I have dark humor. Because at first it was like, why are you like this? I would lie. It was like, why are you like this? I was like, and I ended up like being open that, yeah, this, that. And then that's how they got to understand, oh, it makes sense why whenever you speak, you just affirm. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. So I think the nice thing about you moving to a new environment is that you
mm,
were not alone in the
yeah,
environment,
you
right?
were here. So, yeah.
Yes, you had me and my
Any
partner.
minor, any minor inconvenience. So, like, can you come to the side?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Did you find that it made the load light having people around?
yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, because I remember I was quite worried about you last year. Like if I ever called you and I thought you were crying, we just drive and you lived quite far from us, by the way.
Yeah.
You lived like 45 minutes
Hmm.
away from our house. So um we frequented observatory more than we had
Yeah.
hoped to be in observatory. But I think it also brought us together
Yeah, it did.
because we did speak about this earlier, how
Mm,
there was a gap of about 8 years where
yeah.
we were sort of apart, and then last year we then
Got closer.
got closer because of the
Yeah.
proximity again. Yeah. And how have you found that transition in our relationship?
Actually, you guys let more about you. Hectic.
You say it like it's such a bad thing.
It's not. It's just interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting because, as I said, I need to learn you first.
Yeah.
So even my classmates, I always tell them that I had to learn you guys first, the kind of people you are before I could
Mm, mm,
try anything. So yeah.
mm.
So I had to learn more about you and all that. Because now it's different when you're speaking on the phone and when I'm like staying with you in the same house, or when
Mm,
you are now close and then maybe weekends I come here or
mm.
we go out and stuff. Then I get to learn more that, oh, my sister is actually this kind of a person. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, we did try to make a transition sort of, because when
Mm,
you were in metric, no, not when you were in metric, when you were in your gap year,
yeah.
you came and you stayed with us for about a month, and then you got a feel.
No.
Was it when you were in first year? No, no, you
No,
were
it
in
wasn't. No, before I did come here when I was in Matric for a week.
for a week. Yes.
Yes, it was when you were still staying that side in
Yeah.
Capri, sorry. And then last year, it was when I did come to stay with y'all for a month because I had holidays and I had nothing to do. It
No,
was
no,
during
there
my
was a
first year.
year where
No, it was last year, September. Yes, I stayed with y'all for a month.
no, no, when you had your haircut, man, before you came to university.
That was. Why did you have to mention the haircut? That was in Matric.
Okay,
It was
so when you
for
were
a
in
week.
matric, you came for a week.
Yeah,
Yes, and then you stayed with us for a week. And then
yeah.
last year you were staying in race, but then
I did
you
come here
stayed
for
with
a
us
month.
during holidays. Okay. And then now you stay with us, so there's even more proximity.
Mm.
And how has that transition been for you? Isn't that terrible?
It's not.
Okay. Okay, I meant
Your partner's looking at me like, say something now. You're not gonna eat dinner today.
you make him sound like an animal.
I'm joking.
Yeah. You know what's funny about the two of you? It's that I think he never had a younger sibling and you never really grew up around
My
your
younger
older
sister.
siblings. So it's like
Yeah.
you're both navigating having siblings at the same time. And it's funny to watch. But anyway, um my point was around having people around
Mm,
because earlier we spoke about how you've always felt alone and
mm,
you put up a wall as a result of always feeling alone. So I'm asking, how has the transition of, because I'm assuming that staying in rest last year would have just amplified the feeling because everybody is in their own rooms, everybody's navigating their own lives. And I mean, you'd meet people in the kitchen
mm,
or in shared spaces, and there was that. But majority of the time, you're in your own
your room.
space, be feeling alone, navigating your own emotions. And then now you are in a space where like there's people constantly around. I'm always home, so
Yeah.
it's just you have to. I'm in your
Yeah.
proximity at all times, and my partner is here when he comes back from work. So there's that element of there's
Mm.
always people around. Do you find that it has helped you break your shell?
Mm.
Okay.
I'm being honest, it
No,
hasn't.
I know. That's why
It hasn't.
I'm
How should I put it? The thing with me is the wall is still there. It's not gonna go down.
Mm.
It's gonna take time. Like, one, I don't really like speaking. Two, sometimes I'm like, "Ugh, really now? Just I have to conversate. I don't wanna do this. Like, and then some days I just feel like pausing. You know how you pause a movie? I just feel like pausing life like that. Like, can we now breathe, breather? Can we get water? Can we eat? Can we do something before?
Yeah.
But yeah, but not that you guys haven't like really made it easy for me to. It's just me. The problem is just me because I don't really like speaking about things that like happen in my life or have happened. So I would always want to shift conversation to someone else. Like if someone asks me if I'm okay, I'll shift it to them. If someone wants me to speak about my past, I'll shift it so that we speak about you more than me. Because I don't really like speaking.
Mm.
And I think that also stems from not that I really have trust issues, but at the same time I don't. And also I don't want to be misunderstood.
Mm.
Because now, yeah, and I don't like making what I'm going through or my problems like the center. Like we can speak about other things. We don't need to speak about my problems. If it does come up in a situation, I'll speak about it first. Make sure that like we pass that. I don't really wanna dwell on things. Cause yeah. Because that's how my brain functions. I'm always thinking my brain doesn't shut down. You always complain about me not sleeping. Literally, my brain doesn't shut down. Whatever emotions I need to go through, I'll go through them like as I'm going with my day. I'm not those
Yeah.
people who want to sit with my feelings. If you see me sitting, just know that I'm concluding what was happening with my emotions there, and I'm about to tell myself that you know what, we have things to do. So yeah, wake up or do something. So yeah.
I think also, to be fair, I'm also still finding
Yeah.
my footing with the situation. But also I am also the type of person where I live on extreme ends of
Mm.
emotions. I'm either very, very sad and
Oh, you're very, very happy.
oh, I'm very, very happy.
Yep.
There's no
No
intermediate
in
of
between.
yeah. Like if I'm sad, I'm just sad. And
Mm.
if I'm happy, so there's that element of I guess you also have to adjust to that. My
Yeah.
partner also has to adjust to that. And I think because I've lived with him for a couple of years now,
She is used to that,
he's used to
unlike me.
it.
So
Yeah. And for you
still learning.
it's adjustment. And also there's the element of we'll have bad days on
Mm.
different days. Like I might have my bad day today and yours might be tomorrow. And the house will be quiet
Mm.
because he's not much of a talker. And then when we're both in a good space, then it's loud and
Mm.
everything's jolly. But I guess there's that element that you are navigating your own life and then
Yeah.
you're navigating it around other people. But I'm truly enjoying it. I don't know about you. I'm enjoying it. And I also think I don't know about you, but personally I'm the type of person where I let other people like experience their own life, their own way, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like I give people, I give people freedom to be
Yeah.
themselves. I don't dictate how people should be or um try to push my opinions on people or um how they should feel. I mean, every now and then, like today, I knocked in your room and I'm like, you haven't been out of your room since
Friday.
Friday. You need to get out. You need to get some air. That is like the most extreme level of dictatorship I'll
You
have.
can do, yeah.
But when it comes to who you are, your identity, like what you want to do, if you, I think I'm the type of person where I'm not helicoptering anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to think so that
Mm.
I try not to helicopter another person's
Yeah.
existence and um if anything, I will navigate my existence around yours as
Mm.
opposed to trying to make
True.
another
Mm.
person fit my box, if that makes sense. And I think that's the beauty of life is that you have to understand that in as much as you are navigating life, the next person is doing the same.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
it's just a matter of um trying to navigate life together in a way that doesn't impede on another person's existence.
Yes.
Mm. Okay. My last question to you. This is a question we ask everyone who comes on the podcast, and you should know this
Yes,
because
I do.
you've
Always
been
say
here
by the
since day
back.
one. What do you love most about where you are now?
Now, hmm, that's actually interesting. Every time you ask people, I never really answer that question on my own. I'm just like, ugh, wait, what do I love most? I think it would be how I have grown till now. Because, like, with everything that has happened, obviously, everything that happens also affects, like, some of the relationships I have with people. But I love that I am very much self-aware than like I was like before. So I'm able to see if my actions are like being hurtful towards the other person. What can I do to make sure that like whatever that I'm doing doesn't land on a bad note with the other person? And then another thing I love is what I'm doing now is I love my life
Yeah.
currently.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, I don't love this life. But when I think about it, I love where I am now because me and my chick wouldn't have thought that like I would be here now doing what I'm doing, studying what I'm studying, and just getting to experience life and growth. So,
It's beautiful, man.
yes.
That's beaut- And it's good to see. I personally have enjoyed seeing you, like the adult version of you. I think I missed a huge chunk.
Yeah, you did. Hey, you
I,
were like,
I left you when you were in primary, and now you're in varsity,
mm,
and it's like a huge transition, but it's really interesting to experience
yeah.
the person that you are. And I always try to think, yo, but like the last time I saw her, she was
She
young,
was
she
a
was this
kid.
little thing, and
Thing.
now,
I was a kid. That thing.
okay, you were this little baby, and now you're a
Mm,
full human being, and
yes.
yeah, I'm enjoying navigating the space with you, and also getting to see you grow and find your footing, and
Mm,
yeah, like, find who you are. Not find, but I mean, people say you never really find who you are, but
yeah, you never do.
navigate that whole process
Yeah.
of getting to a point of at least accepting a version of yourself that it is. So, and thank you for doing this episode finally.
Yes. Yeah, guys. I've been saying no.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't saying no. I was just not ready to speak about any of those things.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Look at. Bye, guys.